time to say goodbye
to all this stuff. Hi friends, welcome to another Clean With Us.
If you're here for the cleaning, organizing, and decluttering, then you're in the right place.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell to find out when our next video is coming out.
All right, we're gonna get right into it. Our challenge today is a declutter challenge.
In case you didn't know, Lara has entered her third trimester of pregnancy, and as a result, we've been a little bit slow on getting our videos.
Not to say that I haven't been busy.
As we enter this busy season, it seems like everyone is either busy or sick. We did reach out to the Miller's house to try to get a clean in. However, with that many people, they were really sick and it was kind of spreading. And so we decided to stay home for a little bit and work on our own decluttering projects.
Our mission is always to help as many people and families as possible. But to be honest, we can tell when our own homes are being neglected and we've got a lot to take care of here. So today you're going to see us declutter our houses.
We've mentioned having to make decluttering and cleaning fun, and we actually bought this wheel for my daughter's birthday party and thought, you know what, we could turn this into something that will motivate us to declutter and clean different parts of our house.
So after a good spin, we won the opportunity to clean and organize and declutter the kitchen cabinets.
Some of you may not know this, but I actually do not love my kitchen. I don't love the way it looks. I also hate to cook. So this isn't my favorite room. So I was like, oh, this is going to be an easy room to declutter. And I was actually surprised that I got quite emotional looking through some things. So you'll see that in a couple minutes.
Interesting that you used the word emotional, not like overwhelmed, like actually like sad.
Yeah, I am honestly as surprised as you. I would definitely say, yes, I was overwhelmed, but it really was emotional. This room signifies a lot of stress in my life, but it also signifies a lot of milestones that my kids have had. And so it was interesting going through this. I decluttered last year and did not feel the same wave of emotion as I do this year.
They growing up so fast.
We have a lot of resources on decluttering. If you haven't checked out our previous decluttering videos or our hoarding videos, you definitely need to look at those to get more inspiration. Going through the kitchen cabinets, you need to know that we have a very simple kitchen, meaning we don't have lots of kitchen gadgets. We have the typical Tupperware. We have cups, plates, all the utensils.
Yeah, they're not bakers or master chefs. Not to say that the food isn't good, but it's definitely, like you said, a simple kitchen. Sometimes when I'm here, I'm like, okay, where's the chopper or the blender or the whatever? And I end up bringing stuff over from my house. Finally, you bought a mixer.
But honestly, that was a great decluttering lesson for me because my mixer broke about 2 years ago. It wasn't like a KitchenAid like stand-up mixer. It's just a hand mixer. And I was like, oh, I'll just whisk everything and it will be fine. And every time I needed a mixer, I kept saying, I should buy one. I should buy one. And this year I got to the point where I was mixing whatever so much that I'm like, no, I really am. So my husband and I spent a lot of time looking at the best option for a handheld mixer. Found one and we love it. So when you're like looking at your kitchen function and you realize that you do need something, it is okay to buy it, but you really need to understand the need versus the want.
So lesson 1, if you really need it, then you can buy it.
Then we started to go through our cabinets top to bottom, left to right, and we're asking ourselves questions like, what do we want this container to look like? What do we want it to hold? And how much should it hold?
And if you haven't had a chance to watch our previous videos, what Lana means by container could be any space. So a container could be an actual Tupperware container. It could be a shelf. It could be a cabinet, or it can be a whole room.
Along with the handheld mixer, we also talk a lot about appliances in general, and we are not an appliance kitchen. We have a microwave, or I should say small appliance. We have our big ones too, but like we have an Instant Pot and we have a 3-piece party crock pot, but we don't bring that out very often. In fact, one thing that we separate from our kitchen is like our party ware versus our actual what we use on a day-to-day basis. This kind of helps us decide how important something is to keep.
And one thing that we really like, and when we help people organize their kitchens, is having those small appliances off the counter. We understand the coffee maker is something that most people use every day, so they're going to leave it there. But do you need the air fryer up there? Do you need, these big pieces of, appliances, or can they be pulled out as needed? And it really helps to have the clear space in your kitchen.
I don't know if I'm the only one like this, where I have these odd ideas or goals in my head, like big dream that I can put all of my clothes in one laundry basket and have just that amount of clothes to wash every week. My dishwasher feels the same to me. As I was putting away like all the dishes and putting them where they go, I realized that it didn't feel right. There was too many things. I was jumping from lots of different cabinets. And so I asked, like, what am I ready to do? What am I ready to put away so that I'm not having tons of loads of dishes to do every single day?
My goodness, I just realized with all this letting go, we forgot to say hello.
Let's introduce ourselves. I'm Lana.
I'm Laura.
And we're two identical twins who love to clean and tidy.
And if you find our decluttering videos helpful, make sure to leave a comment and let us know.
During the process of unloading the dishes, I realized that the plates and the bowls and the utensils that my kids use, the plastic ones that are their favorite colors, were starting to get warped and bent and stained and scratched. And I kind of came to the realization that my girls are older now, and it may be time for us to move to the next stage of kitchenware, which is all of us using grown-up plates. I know this is so hard for anyone to understand, especially for me, because I am not one that holds on to sentimental things. I don't even have any clothes from when my kids were babies. Like I'm that detached. But putting away or giving away these plates and bowls signified that my girls are turning into young ladies. And I don't think I was prepared for that. And I don't want to let go of this stage of motherhood and childhood for them, but I also knew that if we were going to enjoy these moments around the kitchen table or the whatever together, that it might be the same moment, but without the same materials in front of us.
So maybe the next lesson would be when you're feeling emotional or maybe even grieving, it's not the things that you're grieving, it's those stages of life.
Summer waves, so much we did together as seasons go by, and the trees brings memories, drifting with the waves from all our worries left behind, and the breezes carried away all of the sorrows that this world had left for you.
When decluttering, you have to pick the right tools to do the job. In this case, I picked a garbage bag, but I do want to stress that I'm not throwing these things away. I'm actually giving them away, but I ran out of boxes, so instead I used a bag. I know that people have the kitchen gadgets, and we've talked about that, but in my house, I like to have control over what comes in and what comes out. And in this case, this cabinet holds all of our small appliances minus the party crock pot. So this is where my toaster, my blender, my mixer, my deep fat fryer, and my Instant Pot all sit. My rice maker sat there too, except our rice maker broke. So that's something that I'm looking to buy a new one for, or I might just cook it over the stovetop like we used to do when we were young before we had the rice maker. But these are parts, again, like when we were containing things into one area, this just works for our family. We like to keep everything in one spot.
Which brings us to lesson number 3. It's more than likely that your space isn't too small. It's that you have too much stuff.
Again, everyone is different, and in your life, you might have tons of kitchen stuff because you love to cook and you love to bake. But I always like to ask yourself, how much time are you actually spending on these hobbies that you have? Because oftentimes people say they love to bake, but they only bake once a year. Do you need 14 muffin tins and 3 cookie sheets in order to do that? No, you need to downsize and kind of struggle a little bit to understand how important the task you're doing and what tools you actually need to do it. Because if you can rough it a little bit, the space you're saving is worth the roughing it out.
Hold on tight, I'm on my way. 'Cause everything's perfect when I'm with you. But love is just a game you play. And I just need you to be true with me. 'Cause baby, I've just been following your voice just to see that you have been making me more paranoid. How about losing you forever? I can't imagine.
Welcome to Hot Mess City. This is an area where things go to die. There are so many items in here that I bought with the best intention and just they don't get used. I also think they don't get used because this is an awkward space. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but if you have one of these deep cabinets that go next to your sink, does anyone else think that's just wasted space? I personally would rather have drawers and then find like some other place to put these like trays and containers and things like that. So what I decided to do was to take everything out of this awkward space and ask, how often am I really using it? There were some things in here that I just bought recently, and I'm like, do I really need this? Is this going to benefit my life? And then there's things that have been in this cabinet since we've moved in. So I started with looking at the different pieces. Like I have this big blue pot and I only use it for one recipe. I use it for when I make pot roast. And I was not willing to let go of that one, even though I only use it once a year, because it's the best thing I have to make pot roast. We love it. And I said, you know what? I have the space for it. I'm going to keep it. I kept the glass pans because we would use those almost every week, so I knew that they were valuable to keep. And then we have our party crock pot. I kept that way in the back because although we don't use it often, it's one of those non-negotiables that we need to have for the many parties we threw. I bought this griddle recently and I literally love it. It is probably my favorite appliance, and I'm like, you know what? That's one that I will stay. We use it every week when we make breakfast for dinner. The last thing I decided to keep were these to-go containers. We use them every time we have road trips to pack mini lunches, and we put them in the cooler, and they're just perfect for travel size. This is sort of my millennial mom cursed pile where I bought these things with the intention of using them. For example, I have the strawberry or fruit dividers. I have the tin material. I have containers with lids, and this 3-piece lasagna tray I thought was going to save me so much stress because in my family we do actually make 3 different types of lasagna. We always make them in like those tin containers and we freeze them, and so I realized I wasn't ever using it. So I'm like, okay, time to say goodbye to that. We got rid of so many things in that cabinet. All right, now I'm moving on into this cabinet, which is our like plates and bowls. And this is the one that gets the biggest transformation because this is where we say goodbye to all the plastic and we keep all of the Corelle.
And so we're heading into our next tip, was when to say goodbye, knowing when to say goodbye and let go. This might mean for stages of life, like your kids have outgrown something you don't use anymore, or it could also be wear and tear. Like we said, these items were a little stained, they were warping, and it was time to just get rid of it.
The bonus of making this choice is that my cabinet matched, and when I open it, it looks beautiful. And I know this isn't essential for a lot of people, but for moms out there that are overstimulated by your stuff, matching things help cool your brain down. When you open this and you just see all white or one color and not a bunch of mismatched things that are trying to fit together, it feels good.
We're on tip number 5 now, is going to those hidden spots, those cabinets, those crevices that you don't go to often, because sometimes you just forget that there's stuff there.
I remember doing the top of the fridge last year and getting rid of a bunch of bulky items and putting some things in the cabinet that I'm like, if I don't use this in a year, it obviously isn't meant to be. And sure enough, a year later, I got rid of so many things in this cabinet. Lids to the Corelle bowls. We love the Corelle bowls, but we never use all of these lids. So I was like, you know what? Put those away. Someone else can have them if they want them. I also had a popsicle mold that I decided to keep because we do make popsicles in the summer.
They had so many cookie cutters for people that I don't think I've ever seen you guys make cookies. You guys make muffins and cupcakes, but I've never seen you make cookies.
We had put some papers on top of the fridge to go to because that's obviously a great spot when you need to revisit some things. So we ended up recycling all of those too.
I think holidays and events are a great time to also revisit things that you have. We keep things because we're like, oh, Christmas is coming up, or we have this big birthday party event. How many of those events or years have you gone through and still not used those disposable plates or the table runner or whatever? So after one of those events, going through and being like, did I use this? Am I really going to use it? Something to think about.
This dresser is where we keep most of our party stuff, and we did use a lot of it for my daughter's birthday party. So as I was putting things away, anything we didn't use, I asked, okay, is it just not the right event, or do I actually need it? And went through each drawer one at a time and got rid of a ton of things, including some of my tiers, which I love those, but we weren't using all 5 of them. So I only kept, I think, 3 that I thought could benefit the next party.
So here is the beautiful clean kitchen. I know it's not perfect for you, Lonnie, but I mean, when I look at it, I can see exactly what's going on. I feel like if you open any drawer, any cabinet, you can find exactly what you're looking for.
Especially this one with the broken drawer. We're going to fix it one of these days, I swear.
I think when I see this, it reminds me that some people think I need to buy more to get rid of more, like buying more containers, more organization, and more storage. And the truth is, you just have to let go. I know it's really hard, but you have to let go of the items and realize that the space can't hold them.
It's hard, I know I'm better off just restarting, but you still own my heart, and I want more than anything to just move on. Whoa, I'm still hurting in my mind. Whoa, got a feeling that this time, whoa, without you here in my nights, I won't admit that it's my fault, 'cause I know you don't care at all. I hate admitting that I crossed a line, and I hope you know that I can't sleep. You won't believe me when I say I'm fine, 'cause I hate admitting that you broke me. Broke me.
So where did everything go?
There are lots of ways to get rid of stuff. Some are more instant than others. For example, throwing things away, probably the quickest way to do something, but not necessarily the best for the environment. Number 2, you can give it away, and there's lots of ways to do that. You can take it right to Goodwill or Salvation Army or whichever group you support, and donation centers, women's shelters, all of those things, and give them the garbage bag and move on. Another way you can get rid of stuff is posting on one of your local Facebook groups. We have a local free site that you can post something and say, hey, come pick it up. And people flood to it. I put out a table once every couple months and say, hey, if you're interested, I give them my street name, and then they come and find it.
As soon as you posted that, people were coming over to pick everything up, and I think it was 5 hours till the table was clear. And whether that's people took it or the wind took it, something happened, and that table was cleared by the end of the day.
I did have to chase a few items in the street, but anything that wasn't taken, I took to Goodwill and just put it in the back of my van and went right there at the end of the day. You can get rid of stuff. You do not need to hold it in your house. You just need to find creative ways to let go.
We're getting to the end of our video, so we just wanted to give you guys an update.
One of the biggest projects we have coming up is my nephew's nursery. We are trying really hard to get it cleaned, organized, and decorated in just a few short months. A long time since I've had kids, and I feel like I'm a little rusty, and one of the things we're worried about is that we already have too much stuff for baby, and we still have a lot of people who want to celebrate him being born. So if you have any tips or advice on how to organize baby's life, please put it in the comments below.
Thank you so much for watching.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button while you're at it. TikTok is where it's at. This is where we spend our time. We love it. We learn so much from it, and we're posting once a day. So check it out. Hit those like buttons.
And if you haven't already, go to our YouTube playlist. I think we're close to 100 videos, if not more, on different rooms, different styles of cleaning and decluttering and organizing. So also, please make sure to check that out.
We need to give credit where credit is due. We would be nothing without you guys. We have to shout out to our subscribers. You have built our channel from nothing. We don't even know how many subscribers we're at. It's well over 2,000. And every time you subscribe or share our channel with someone who would benefit from our content, it helps us grow and give you guys content that you deserve.
Our mission is always to help as many people, as many families as possible. So thank you for sharing our videos, because there's only so much we can do with our hands. And so we know that our outreach is going all over the world, literally.
We promised you big content, and it is coming your way. We are going to go back to the Miller's house. We're going to focus on our own lives. We're going to be focusing on helping other families. I'm still a teacher and a mom, and Lara is becoming a new mom, and so we've just been so grateful for the patience you've given us as we're exploring this next stage of our lives.
That big content is coming, but for now, we want to know,
What should we clean next?